seen my blog or followed, and you've only seen this video, then you're in good luck, because I've got my drink. It's going to take some patience. We are in September now of 2018, so I've decided to tell my story. I haven't caught up with you guys since April, so I'm going to start from the start, because I've had amazing response of awareness and people asking me questions, people getting help from the right people. I'm sorry about the music in the background. Again, distraction works with me really well, and with a lot of functional movement sufferers. So again, it's a huge umbrella, functional movement disorder, and the leaflet will, especially it's on my page, neurosymptoms.org, was given by my neurologist when I got diagnosed in 2015. I mean, that feels like miles ago, absolute miles ago, because let's start from the start first of all, because this is what happens with this condition. My friends are probably thinking, whoa, she's lost some weight. I've had an amazing couple of days. It is later than I would go to bed, but I'm just so empowered by a conversation I've just had. I'm not going to be mentioning names. As I said, this is a public page, and when you message me privately, it stays between me and you, because that's why I'm doing this. I am really doing this for others, not for just myself, and it's completely selfless. I don't get anything about going back to what I went through, especially with my post-traumatic stress, but as in one of my videos, I am famous for saying, knowledge is power, which therefore armors you with what you know. So when you hear other things that used to break you, you know the truth. So it's hard to still have those things said, and it's hard to sorry, I'm not gonna cry in this video. Okay, so let's start with Amy's story. Yes, here we go. So in 2013, I was working as a full-time carer, domiciliary, so I drove from 7 o'clock in the morning, well, earlier than that, but my first call would be 7 o'clock in the morning, my last call would be 10 o'clock at night. I would do an 8-day stretch, I would have a weekend off, I would have a day on, a day off, a day on, a half day, a day off, weekend off, 8 days, so forth. It continued. But social care is, my life, my heart is care for others. Even if it's making someone a cup of tea and having a chat, that's who I am and always will be. I may have lost it in these last 5 years, Sorry, I keep fitting on my glasses. I've lost 3 stone. Not deliberately. I've just gone back down to my normal weight that I was when I was 26 when this started, to now being 31. A lot of it's got to do with me being more active in a way, and less active. I will explain. So I went in for a daily procedure that I've had 3 times prior for endometriosis, and I woke up on a morphine drip thinking, well, that doesn't usually happen. Okay, maybe they've just had to do a little bit more. My mum hadn't heard anything because, of course, I'm 26 years old, so the hospital are reluctant to give any information over the phone, and we'll just call you when she's ready. I remember waking up because it was the first time in the 4 operations since I was 16, now 26 at that time, I actually was first called. So I was talking to the lady down, all the way down to theatre. When I woke up, my mum and dad came around the corner. My mum's face said it all. She looked very concerned. She didn't know anything. I still hadn't seen the surgeons or a doctor to find out what had gone on. Worst case, I thought it was, oh, you've had a hysterectomy or something. Anyway, I had to spend all day and all evening in the recovery ward. They were going to keep me in, but suddenly decided, we had a nurse come to us and say, me and my mother and dad's, that was I going home? And sort of looked at each other. Sorry, before that, this is because I'm tired and I'm talking about everything, so bear with me with the speech and tics. This isn't to take me back, this is to get stronger. So mum and dad were with me. As I said, I woke up on a morphine drip thinking, okay, that doesn't make sense. Anyway, my bowel and my womb were slightly stuck together. This is why I have an endometriosis page as well, because this is connected. Definitely. And the first question that I was asked before being told anything else and in front of my parents was, have you ever had a bowel operation before? To which my dad quite rightly said, well, it would be in her bloody notes. I said, hang on, Dad. And the surgeons looked at each other when I said no. Why? Okay. So gynecology operated on me and separated my womb and my bowel, and then lasered the bits of endometriosis they found, which were little amounts, but the scarring, the adhesions, were severe. So they just said, oh, okay, we might want to keep you in. Explained what they'd done, sent mum and dad off, gave me more pain relief, I slept more, then got woken up by my mum and nurses, and a nurse came round and said, are you going home? So I said, well, I looked at my mum and I thought the doctor wanted to keep me in, and she said, I'll just go and check. The nurse went and checked. I didn't get a cup of tea. They didn't take me to the toilet to see if I could go to the toilet. These are key things. A sandwich was put in my dressing gown pocket, and I was told I could go home because you recover better at home. Yes, you do. When an operation's done correctly. I'm never going to know the truth of that, so I've had to that's important in this story. So I've had to let that go. But it hasn't stopped me doing what I'm doing now for others, because it doesn't matter what happened to me, I never want it happening to anyone else again, and it still is, and I'm still seeing it happen, and I can't take it. I can't take all the injustice of it all. So anyway, I then was readmitted less than 48 hours later after going to the GP, surgery, and they examined me and found I had no bowel sounds, little or no bowel sounds. So they rang my local hospital and said she is coming back in. Surgical will pass me to gynecology. Gynecology will pass me to surgical. I was like a hot potato for 6 days with enema after enema. My bowel's still not budging. And then I'd had an enema, and a catheter had to be inserted as well, because my bladder decided to stop working as well. This is very important. So I was sat with my mum and dad's at a tea time. I do apologise if any of this is a bit, but it's the truth, and the truth is gonna sting. So I got a pain and said to my mum, on my days, I think I need to go to the toilet. Hadn't felt that in 6 days. So I went to the toilet, and with that, blood shot down the catheter, pure, deep red blood. And of course I pulled the red cord and panicked. My mum was there before the nurses have followed, almost climbing over each other. And they quickly stopped the alarm and said, look, it's okay, it's not a lot, we need to get that catheter out of you. So I'm thinking, brilliant, this is good. Then they decided they were going to discharge me that day, because once the catheter was taken out, because then I was urinating. My bowel suddenly decided to explode and empty after lots of days and maximum laxatives and enemas. And they said, we think your bowel has thrown a strop. But anyway, everything's okay now, so I'm going to sign you off for another week. Do you need a sick note? Right, off you go home. So went home. 5 days later, went to a family trip to Birmingham. Woke up, I was really tired, still not feeling great, and still having trouble going to the toilet. It was like I had cystitis, but worse, and also it didn't matter how much I ran a tap or was desperate, I wasn't going. I didn't have a lot to drink that morning, so my mum comes in when my dad's been beeping the horn, thinking, what is she doing? And we were my mum came in, I told her what was going on, and she said, look, let's feed you with water throughout the day, get you rehydrated, that's probably what it is. Remember what they said about your bowel, etc. Okay. Took some paracetamol, had peppermint tea, had lots of water. Then 8 o'clock in the night comes and we start heading home from Birmingham. My dad appears in the mirror and he says, "Amy, did you go to the toilet?" My head was down and my headphones were in. Took my headphones out and said, he went, "Oh my days, A&E." So we went to A&E where I was left for 2 hours in the waiting room. I finally got in with the nurse. There was less I needed to be seen, but never mind. I finally got seen after 2 hours. So it's about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. I looked like I'm 8 months pregnant. That was the most concerning thing. So I get in, this nurse says, "Do you want to sit, lie? What do I want to do? Because I know what's quite going on. I don't know the story." So I said, "Well, I'm so sorry my dad got frustrated. We're all frustrated. I haven't urinated now for 24 hours. Before I could finish that sentence, I was laid flat. A bladder scanner was brought over. Another nurse came over. A doctor was called and was on his way. And they were trying to catheterize me. And I was in full-blown retention with a lot in my bladder. And I'm talking over a litre, then close to 2. Then because they can't catheterize me, and they're having trouble, they give me N.E.A.D, which is known as gas and air, that's given to pregnant women. I have no idea what I'm doing with this then, and say, what do I need, what am I doing this, what do I need to do? Once they started doing that, they kept saying it's in, nothing's coming out. So the doctor finally arrives, and by this point I'm flat on my back in complete agony. And I mean, I've never felt pain like it. I literally felt like under here, I couldn't breathe. So they got me catheterized. It was all draining. This doctor had managed to do it. So I was readmitted for a couple of days. Throughout that 3-day stay, I had a day where I can't even remember most of it because I was sick the entire day. A lady, bless her, opposite me got up and said, do you want me to shut the curtain for you? Because you need some privacy. I was finally then put on fluids. I couldn't eat. I was constantly sleeping. And my bowel wasn't working. So I'm huge stomach still, even though I'm drained of urine, scanned, and you're really constipated. Really? You don't say. Anyway, I'm in then for the whole weekend. The catheter's draining as well, and I'm an ex-carer, so I thought, yeah, left bag's fine. So my specialist isn't there; he's away. So basically, then they said, right, what we're going to do, because we cannot do anything over the weekend. Excuse me, my nose starts to go out. Nose ring. So I'm fiddling with it whilst I'm on the video. It's distraction again. This video is going to have to be in 2 parts probably because it's going to be so long. Actually, yes, I'm going to get a drink and I'm going to end this part. I'll remember where I am and then I'll be back.